You must have been a beautiful. I don't know what year that's from, and I wonder if I can use that. Otherwise, have the copyright infringement be blasted upon my face. So back behind me we have the Unity sign here in Greenville, right along the Reedy River. This is the most secular example of what a non-gay rainbow looks like. And behind me, we have a magnolia tree that hasn't bloomed yet. Now, as far as it being a perennial or it blooming, I don't know, bi-weekly. No, I don't think it's bi-weekly, but it's either perennial or maybe a yearly. These magnolia trees bloom more than once a year. That's for sure. But right now, the magnolia tree has not bloomed yet. If you look over here too, we've got big magnolia too. Swamp Rabbit Trail. Cancer Survivors Park, 0.8 miles. Falls Park, 1.2 miles. Downtown, 1.3 miles. And the YMCA, 0.9 miles. Now we're gonna take you to the Y. You guys know that song. Don't want to get copyright striked, so I can't sing the whole song, but YMCA, Young Man's Christian Association. So this is Swamp Rabbit Trail. Wow, they have a park for cancer survivors. They should have a park everywhere for people that just have survived life in general. I think every park should be dedicated to people who have just gotten through life. Basically dedicated to everybody. Let's dedicate every park to everyone. Why do we have to sequester off people in special subgroups? Cancer Survival Park. My bum bum. This is a common known fact, but in case the viewers here and you guys don't know this, we've been at war, constantly at war, since World War II. So there hasn't really been a day of peace. There are many factors and many reasons for this, but check it out. In honor of those who served in Grenada, Lebanon, Panama, and the Persian Gulf. Dedicated to veterans of World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and vets. We got memorials here. Ooh, garden club people too. Garden club, National Garden Clubs. So cool. It's not only it's a war memorial, but it's combining our domination of the entire world world domination, and it's combining that with a love for gardens. My deepest ponderings and thoughts as I wander through Swamp Rabbit Trail and I look at these beautiful tributes to American power, air power. And the question I ask, is it USA or is it US gay? Spring goose couple laying goose eggs. Now, if you remember from my last video from the Piedmont Mills, we approached some geese and they weren't happy. So maybe if I approach these geese, they'll be a little bit more inviting and happy. Let's see what happens. Hello? Hello, Goose? So that's about as close as I'm going to get before this goose decides to go after me. But my question is, I wonder if there's an egg, if there's eggs underneath that goose on the left, that female goose. No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Cute. Hi, geese. Hi, geese still. So judging by their behavior, they're not hiding any golden goose eggs underneath that goose. They seem to not be bothered, and they don't seem to be super aggressive, so their nest might be somewhere else. I think they're just chilling in the grass. Wow, I just walked past a man jogging down this trail. He was wearing one of those black Adidas jumper suits, those track suits. The man, he must have been in his 90s. Well, anyways, the man turned to me and he said this. Every city has an old back one. Greenville just turned theirs into something people can walk on. Welcome to Swamp Rabbit Trail, my young boy. Boy. My boy. Hello, and thanks for joining me today on Swamp Rabbit Trail. It's springtime in America's greenest city, and oh boy, the pollen is out. Out of the closet. Into the frying pan. Oh my goodness. Out of the closet into the frying pan. That has to be a J.R.R. Tolkien reference of out of the fire into the frying pan. It's springtime in America's greenest city, and oh boy, the pollen is out. About as out as a 18-year-old progressive in Hillcrest, California. Yeah, why not? Look at these flowers. Speaking of out, look how beautiful. For 200 years ago, this same path that we are exploring today is where cotton and textile goods moved through the city during Greenville's industrial peak. But today, this industry is gone bye-bye. But nevertheless, this path has a new face. And I would dare to say, it's a pretty face. Pretty birdie. Pretty birdie. Who's a pretty birdie? This humble path is now considered the most successful urban trail conversion in the southeastern region of the United States. Yowzers. That is impressive. Now we're about to go underneath a tunnel here. And it gets a little tight here, but luckily they have a mirror so you can see bikes and cars coming forward. Take a look. See that? There we go. Yeah. So you can see the cars and bikes coming by.
I'm trying to see if I see it move. How you doing?
Oh, what are we looking for?
I saw the fish a few minutes ago.
Big one?
I don't know what they were, man, but...
Either catfish or carp. They're the Asian carps.
They were, huh?
The Asian carps, they're huge.
They was a bunch of them right out there. But then when I come over here, they disappeared.
They get big.
Yes, the guy, he was walking right over in there. I seen him.
Yeah, if you drop a worm in there, or catfish bait, or that cheesy chicken bait or something, you can catch something big here.
Think so?
I think so.
Okay.
All right, sir, take care.
Yeah, you have a good one.
Thank you. Some good fishing here. Some good fishing. Some good fishing over here. We got some good fishing. And I bet you the fish is so clean here that you could eat it. Clean off the table, clean from the river. Oh, big magnolia again. Hasn't bloomed yet, but there she is. So beautiful. So beautiful and so southern. So very southern. This trail was designed for the citizens of Greenville who needed a place to let loose and get their workout on, while simultaneously enjoying winding trails and picturesque scenery. This historic trail is an absolute treat for bicyclists and their happy friends. Even as I do my monologue here, I must be aware of the possible bike traffic that's behind me. The area we are standing on features nearly 20 miles of paved path stretching across Greenville. This long, peaceful route also follows the dreamy Reedy River downstream. Eventually, this green river makes its way all the way to the Atlantic Ocean, where the river's fresh water will finally touch the mouths of sexually aggressive dolphins. This new path was also once a former industrial railroad. The previous railway line was named after a large and distinct swamp rabbit that lived in these lowlands. Even though I'm not a fan of complete and total neoliberalism and making money off of cancer, I do like the fact that the Cancer Center does have good programs and partners, such as Tai Chi, music and movement, healing harmonies and yoga, prevention and wellness, and starting fresh. Good things can come out of bad things such as cancer. So I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, because there are some good events that happen here under the programs and partnerships of the Cancer Center. Especially Tai Chi. Tai Chi is amazing. Qigong Tai Chi movement. My mom does it. My 82-year-old mom does Tai Chi. Keeps her young and active. Look at this. We got prints. Handprints of greasy and dirty hand children. Dirty hand children. Hey, you dirty hand children with your greasy hands. Why are you putting your paws on the cancer windows of the Cancer Center? So we also find severely compromised entities along this river that are driven by profit incentive, in finding treatment rather than a cure, all in the guise of awareness and compassion. The pink ribbon aesthetic, as I like to call it, it leads to no cure, just treatment and being able to make money off of treatment. By the way, the cure has always existed. But the medical industrial complex doesn't want you to know this. They want to keep you as far away from this information as possible. And why, may you ask? It's incentives that are fully misguided. It's pure profit incentives cloaked as a pink ribbon designed to fool you and pull at your heartstrings. Neoliberalism at its finest, my boys. Simply put, venture capitalism walks into a room and makes a boatload of money off of death. Because you make money off of treatment, not a cure. This is absolutely disgusting. So let's switch the profit incentive around and make profit off a cure and not the treatment part. Because healthy, alive, and living people can contribute more to the betterment of the world than someone who is dead. Now, my final venting statement is this. There's nothing wrong with business fundamentally. But my question is, how do we change false and perverse incentives on something like cancer? All right, enough of that. Let's move on down the trail. The original idea for this path was actually a commuter rail, not a bike trail. But that plan collapsed. As you should know, the US doesn't really do public transportation, unfortunately. There are many sad and absolutely pathetic reasons for this that I won't get into. But maybe, just maybe, one day the US will catch up in regards to public transportation. I don't know. 500,000 people use this trail every year. Businesses along this route are booming, and people, as you can see, somewhere along the route, they absolutely love this trail. What was once industrial waste is now community infrastructure. What used to move freight now moves families, cyclists, tourists, and the locals who talk like this. Let's see if they want to play. Let's see if the honking geese want to play with Doosty. Let's see. Honking geese.
Hello, goosies. Hi, goosies. Are you protecting your eggs? You protecting your little salty eggs?
Getting close to the iconic bridge. I think it's either called the Freedom Bridge or Liberty Bridge. It's a very American-esque name, but it is beautiful here, and today it's almost in the 90s. But luckily we're in the woods, in a wooded clearing that was cleared in about 2000s, early 2000s. And so we're not, got a lot of shelter from the sun, so we're not in the direct sun. And that looks like a Japanese maple, if I'm not wrong. I think we're going to tree identify that. We're going to tree identify that here on this channel for your pleasure, for his pleasure. My guess is it's a japanische Maple. I'm not sure what maple is in German, but I can find out later. But yeah, almost looks like a marijuana plant. Has the same leaf patterns as a marijuana plant. Look at that. So similar. Maple is so similar. Can you smoke it, man? Question is, can you smoke it, man? Can you smoke the ganja? I don't know if you can smoke this. Black Jarzus, the Jamaican Jesus. Black Jarzus. Smoke the weed, man. we've got a lot of geese here. Hey, look. Goose 1, Goose 2, 3, Goose 4, Goose 5, and Goose 6. And then there's honking geese up there. It is goose season here. They really like the Reedy River. Now, I'll show you something. This is old parts of a mill. This is the beginning section of the mill here. These stone structures were built in the early 1800s. And these are the remnants of that industry. These stones are about 220 to 230, if not older, maybe 240. Well, let's say over 200 years at least. These stones and brick structures, which were the remnants of factories that were fueled by turbines that were using hydroelectric power to fire up the machines that would produce textiles for the entire world. And that was done here in Greenville, South Carolina, along the dreamy, beautiful Reedy River. I don't know what she's doing. Looks like she has a pail and she's pouring out water from her pail. And she has Princess Leia braids. Let's take a closer look. Spring Goose is trying to protect its eggs. No, I don't think so. It's just being mouthy. Now you can enjoy pansies, but never be one. Don't be a pansy, enjoy pansies. One of the most historic bridges in all of the southeast of the United States. About 500,000 people cross this bridge each year. We are about to walk over it. So this here is the Liberty Bridge. It came about in 2004. It was designed as a single suspension pedestrian bridge, intentionally modern, to contrast with the old industrial history below. And below us we have textile, remnants of textile mills and factories. So what the designer was hoping to have a juxtaposition of architecture. So up here we have remnants of an old factory from the early 1800s. It was active for over 150 to 180 years and beyond. There it is. We're gonna go over the bridge and explore it. Take a look. The old factory. A relic of the past. These are the mills on the Reedy River. Old brick mill. Back when the U.S. was a manufacturing center of the entire world. We got geese eggs. A goose egg that's been cracked open. And now it's just ants in there. Now either that goose egg hatched, but it doesn't look like it. I think that was a miscarriage, or an animal got it. A weasel, perhaps, even though they don't have weasels here. But weasels Just even though they might not have them, just oblige me for a second here. They're known for sucking eggs. I think that's hilarious. But I know that there's other animals and marsupials out there that suck eggs as well. But that egg over there looks like it had been broken into and sucked. The contents, the protein has been sucked out of it. The embryo. Nature. Nature is brutal. Great IG account, by the way. If you ever want to watch anything on Instagram. If you want to have a cathartic time on Instagram and kind of realize how good we have it as humans. And if you're having a stressed out day, there's a few things you can do. Go vigorously work out, do something hard, or watch Nature is Metal on Instagram, showing what animals do to each other in nature. And you'll realize how good, gosh darn, how good we have it. Now here we are at the mills on the old Reedy River. They were built in the 1800s because the waterfalls provided hydropower to fuel the huge textile mills. This was Greenville's massive textile empire. This industry is what turned Greenville into a powerhouse of international textile trade that would come to dominate the globe. Hey, Goose. Whew.
It looks like somebody left some poopy here.
Place is red taped off.
Because the poopy is toxic. It's so toxic you can't show it on YouTube. You've got to blur it out.
That's a VIP BM. It's so important that they taped it off. They taped it off here with red tape.
The poopy is toxic, and I have to blur it out when I show it on YouTube. On YouTubers. On YouTube for the boys and girls. Yeah, I gotta blur everything out on YouTube if I show poo-poo. Okay? No poo-poo on YouTube. No poo-poo on YouTube.
Sometimes things have to be censored out on YouTube. And feces is one of them. Especially in the city. Especially in the city, you know, it could be human, but it could be animal. Well, aren't humans animals anyways? Sometimes, at least. But anyhow. Either way, I'll make sure I blur out what I just showed you guys, but it is taped off with red tape, so that signifies that it's special. And when something's special, it deserves media attention. And that's human psychology. Human psychology works that way, to believe it or not. That when we say, oh, you can't go there, you can't see that, we're going to tape it off and make it exclusive, its value goes up. It's one of those human psychology and nature things. I bet you there's some pretty good music, local music that plays here. There's probably some really good jazz heads. So if you're into jazz music, come down to the Reedy River, to Blues Boulevard Jazz. You'll probably see some legends playing. Looks like we have another tree ID situation here. This looks like a swollen beach. Don't be a swollen beach. Definitely a large, swollen beech tree. And swollen as in just large. It's just another word, another descriptor for large. Wow. That's big. That's a big boy. Oh, looks like we have a dog bake. Oh, they eat dogs here. Wow. Look at that. Dog bakery. I positively can't wait to eat at the dog bakery. This is amazing. Positively can't wait. I'm starting to get hungry. See, America is so diverse that it also does what other countries do when it comes to protein. It also consumes that protein as well. So who says things can't happen? I think America is getting so progressive now, it's starting to eat dogs. It has a dog bakery. Oh, I see a beaver. Look at that. Look at that. That is well, no, that's a muskrat. See that muskrat? It's just walking and chilling. See it? It's just hanging out over there. I don't know if you guys can see it from there. Looks like the geese. You know what? That muskrat might be the culprit that was sucking on eggs. Earlier in that broken up egg that had a hole in it, that could have been a muskrat. You don't want to get bit by them because they got big chunkers on them. Yeah, that'll pack a bite. Not quite like a beaver, but pretty darn close. Well, let's keep walking. See if we can get to that tower. This tower along the walkway. Can't believe they bake dogs here. Have a dog bakery. That's crazy. Who would have thought? I thought that happened in countries like Korea or China, but no, I guess they consume dogs here too. Recently, a few years ago, I think there was a Haitian, a Jamaican, a Honduran man or something that was just really impoverished, and he had no choice, but he ended up having to eat cats. Right before the election, actually. Craziness. I'll let you know what these are. Wow. Look how beautiful this is. Look at this. Beautiful yard, beautiful garden here along the trail. Really good upkeep here. Pig in the park, hanging out. Pig sculpture. Oh, that's hot. Oh my gosh. That is very hot. Well, since it's almost 90 today. Little piggy. Nice little piggy. That's a nice little piggy. Hi there. A real nice little piggy. Wow, look at this garden. Look at this garden. Wow. We have an Indian with a tomahawk. Wow, look at this Native American. Native American Indian. Cherokee. Wow. Life size too. This is actually how tall those people are. They're actually that tall. 8 or 9 feet. Good sound. A little hollow there, but looks like the arm has got some substance. He's got a band here, and I don't know if it's because he's from Portland or Seattle. I mean, yeah, I don't know if he's struggling with addiction or if that is something symbolic of the Cherokee. And my guess is the second guess, not the first guess. I don't think he's an addict. I think he's of a certain tribe where doing this or cutting off your vein has a certain significance. Now, I would say if he had blue hair and was living in Seattle, that would be a different story. He'd be more likely to be a zombie of some sort. You know, a fentanyl, meth, or half-speed, half-fentanyl zombie. But at this point, I think this here symbolizes something. And the cool thing about the internet and about ChatGPT and Google is you can look it up. Because right now, I'm not going to look up what it means. Here he is. There he is. Anyways, I can't wait to go to India. India's going to be fun. India's going to be a hoot and holler. All right, let's keep going here. One thing I love about walking around and exploring, you're always going to find street art, no matter where you are in the world. It could be anywhere, really, almost anywhere. It's universal. Graffiti is universal, and here's an example. Someone marking their territory. Beautiful lines. Beautiful curvy lines. Elliptical lines. Circular lines. Marking their territory, and at the same time, simultaneously, doing it in the most artistic and aesthetic way. I love it. And you can find that everywhere. Everywhere. Or almost everywhere. Graffiti. Graffiti. Street art. And sometimes you can find really, really, really good street art too. It doesn't need to be washed over. It doesn't need to be painted over. Let it breathe a little. I mean, obviously if it doesn't look good, but sometimes you're going to see stuff under a bridge and be like, whoa, that's really, really good. That person's really talented. And that talent deserves visibility. It should be seen. Now, obviously, don't go painting someone's car or someone's house or someone's child. But otherwise, enjoy graffiti if you can. Take a look at it, see it, admire it. Because it means a lot. And it's not going anywhere. It's been around since I was born, and it'll continue as I move along into the ether. How convenient is this? This path here has a squishy feel to it and a layer to it. And this is actually to help runners so they don't damage their cartilage in their knees. That is extremely convenient and luxurious. Emergent in the distance is the tower. Sculpture tower done by an artist, sculpturist. Here it is. Almost looks like a flight operation tower, like a flight tower, or like lets the airplanes in. Air control tower. That's what it looks like. This is the park along the Reedy River and along Swamp Rabbit Trail. It's called Unity Park. Ooh, united by different stars and stripes. So up here we have an example of the electromagnetic spectrum, or the rainbow. Now, before any type of identitarian movement and before the Human Rights Campaign basically capitalized on the idea of of DEI and ESG, we had something very powerful. Within the electromagnetic spectrum, we had the rainbow. And the rainbow historically could be seen as God's promise, or simply put, in science, the electromagnetic spectrum, the color waves that we all see. So the idea of unity represents true diversity, which means different shades and different perspectives, people bringing different views to the table. So here we have an example of unity. And what's poignant and important about this idea of different various colors, is this green, blue, yellow, maybe a teal of some sort, and red. That is an example of a non-gay rainbow. This is as secular as it gets. Religion and ideology is taken out of the mix. Very universal in concept, because this is the various colors of the electromagnetic spectrum without pushing any type of agenda, any type of sexual orientation, any type of identity, any type of any of that stuff. And you viewers understand what I'm saying. So that's an example of a non-gay rainbow. So this sign, this unity sign, and you can see this throughout the world and the US, you can still spot the rainbow. And you can take the ideology, the identitarian and sexual orientation based ideology out of the rainbow pattern. And that is basically a non-gay rainbow. And you'll realize that most rainbows don't have any type of preference. They don't project any of that stuff. And I think as humanity progresses, we're starting to get back rainbows for the sake of electromagnetism, or the electromagnetic spectrum. Yeah, let's get back to the rainbow for the sake of the rainbow. Question is, can you take the tinge, the ideological bent and bias out of it? For instance, reverse therapy, reverse conversion therapy, which basically is what it represents. Can we remove that from it and allow the rainbow to return to what the rainbow used to be, without any hints of ideology or sexual orientation or anything, to keep it as secular and liberal as possible? Can it be done? And the answer is it can be done, but it involves people of all colors and stripes being able to identify a non-gay rainbow when possible. It's doable. The world is healing. We are progressing as humanity, getting away from toxic ideology that constantly projects on innocent kids whose prefrontal cortexes aren't formed yet. Never again. There's hope. There's hope. Oro Bridge. Oro Bridge. Probably means something in Spanish. You know what? I'm going to look it up, and I'll put that right here, so we know what Oro means. Oro. Maybe aura? Maybe aura in Spanish? So behind this Oro Bridge, since the 1970s, Oro Hotels has made significant contributions to the development of the greater Greenville community. Oro, ancient Sanskrit meaning dawn of new light. So this apparently means, Oro means dawn of new light. So now we know. Sanskrit. It's not Spanish. It's Sanskrit, even though it sounds Latin, it sounds Spanish. Auro, rolling the R. auro, but it is actually Sanskrit. Okay, now we are getting closer and closer to this large, what it looks like a control tower at an airport, but really it's a sculptural art piece dedicated to the good citizens and healthy people of Greenville, South Carolina. It's rusty. An old rusty bridge here in Greenville, South Carolina. Wow, this is a massive structure. There's an attendant that is working here that probably knows more about it than I do, and so I'm going to ask this young lady a few questions about it because I know nothing about it. Yeah, what is this place?
So it is an observation deck.
Okay.
It was originally one of the original parts, ideas for the park itself. They always wanted a tower of some sort. But there's a few different things about it. It is on, so Unity Park used to be two segregated parks. This tower is on the line where those two parks met. Some of the major donors for the tower wanted it to honor first responders, military members, veterans, firefighters, any community
Quick question.
service.
So before it was segregated, was it called Unity Park?
So it was...
What was it called before that?
Meadowbrook and Mayberry.
Meadowbrook and Mayberry.
Yes.
Interesting. So then they changed it. Okay, sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, and you can still see, I think that's Mayberry Road, that's the Meadowbrook, something of the two, but so those names are still around here, but the park opened in like 2022, 2023-ish, so very recent.
What's the opposite, they say, of when, so there's segregation and then you have the opposite of that. What is that called? Accumulation? No. Integration. So my question to my viewers is, how about this? The name was fine before. You can have integration and just keep the name. Why do we have to change things all the time? Because the name before was pretty cool, and you can still have integration. Get it? Okay. Anyways, I vent a lot on this channel, but it helps because it gives perspective. Because things change all the time, and you wonder why. It's like you can still have these great things, but you can still keep the history. Yeah. Because the names are cool. Anyways, you were saying.
I just wanted to honor first responders, military members, veterans.
Okay.
And so we just opened this past November, so it's very new.
And no one's jumped off of it yet?
No.
No hoppers? No. Okay, no jumpers. Don't worry, guys. I won't jump today. Don't worry. This is all for YouTube, so don't worry. Yeah. I'm not that desperate for clicks that I'll do that. Right. So I'd rather stick to the historical aspect.
Right. Yeah.
Thomas and Vivian Wong, they're the donors, probably.
They're the major donors, yes. Yeah. That's why they get their name.
Oh, okay. Everyone, if you got money, you can put your name on things. Yes. Great.
And they're big philanthropists. Well, Thomas has passed, but they're a big philanthropist throughout Greenville, so their name's on a lot.
So their name's on a bunch of stuff. Okay. Yes. Great. Oh, it's Abby, right?
Yes.
Yay. All right, up the stairs I go. Up this sculptural item, dedicated by the Wongs, big philanthropist here in Greenville. Wongs. You can't go wrong, you can only go right. You can only go right with the Wongs. So I'd like to do a big shout out at these philanthropists known as the Wongs. They are very right people, the Wongs, for donating and allowing us to enjoy huge sculptures in the middle of parks for I don't know what reason, but maybe just to do it for the sake of doing it. Definitely a right thing done by the Wongs. Thank you, Wongs. Ooh, wow, look at this. Wow, amazing. See all of Greenville. Whew. How about that? If you look along here, That is the old railroad where all the commerce went from all the textile factories along the Reedy River. If you look here too, you see old water towers in the back in the distance. Ooh, almost lost my hat. Almost lost my hat. It looks like there's pickleball court down there. And next to it is a factory. A bar. Looks like a bar, mini golf, and pickleball court. An old factory along the river. That's an old textile factory, and along the textile factory you can see the railroad. And that railroad went along the Reedy River. Feeds along the Reedy River. And that factory looks like it's still operating, but it's probably no longer producing textiles. Probably something else now. Now, in case you viewers are wondering, and you very loyal subscribers are wondering, which you're probably not, but I'm going to put this idea in your head. Greenville, South Carolina, is one of the fastest growing cities in North America. And it's not even that big. It is coming up. This is all done and made thanks to the Wongs. So, in honor of the Wongs, and in good faith, and in honor of their contribution, I will show you what it looks like should you decide to fly like a bird. Which, by the way, I'm not encouraging, I'm not condoning, supporting in any way. Just saying, check out the distance. All right, let's get out of here. I think it might be time for a beer, boys. A Greenville beer tasting. South Carolina beer tasting. This park is amazing. It is so beautiful. Next up on the agenda, I think we're gonna do a beer hunt. Just maybe one nice adult beverage, preferably a local U.S. domestic brew, so I can let you know the flavor of the beer and the bouquet and the finish on the beer, what it tastes like. These are honeysuckles. See, if you pick them like this, see that white area right there? And then you put your mouth to it. Just like that. And even these roots you can even eat. But they produce sweet nectar. That is a honeysuckle. Here's the honeysuckle. See that? Pick them like that. Like this. And you can suck out the sweet nectar. And it's similar to honey. Oh wow. Calorie rich. It's very calorie dense. And if you're hungry and you need food and sustenance and a little sugar spike, I highly recommend the honeysuckle. What a delight. What a North American delight. The honeysuckle. Now fly away, my friend. Thank you for the nutrients. All right. Let's continue down this path of Swamp Rabbit Trail. Brothers Grimm all used to have stories that were romanticized, but now those stories have become Epsteinian. The eating of the children's flesh. Look at this. There's the witch. And you know what she's eating. You know what she's eating. Very, very Epsteinian. This is an Epsteinian aesthetic. And what are we going to be able to do about it as humanity?
I'm going to turn you into cookies. I'm going to turn you into a cookie and eat you like a gingerbread man. Eat you like a gingerbread man.
I'm going to hop over this bear. Well, not quite. I just kind of crawled over it. Ooh, looks like some more illustrations of food. Baking of the cake, of the pie. I wonder what it's symbolic for. I wonder what it means. It's definitely ominous. That might be Table Rock in the back. Look at these hungry dwarves. Little people, midgets. And I'm not sure what they call those people anymore. I don't know. It's people who are challenged, height challenged individuals. Anyways, these dwarves here are hungry. Hungry for the flesh. Flesh. This is all symbolic. This is all ancient mythology. It's cult-like ideology that revolves around cannibalism. Disney and its corroboration with cannibalism amongst the little people. Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. The dwarves. Oh, look, little Robin. Found the politically correct YouTube word, the correct word for dwarfs and little people and midgets. It's munchkins. I believe that is the correct term. Let me know in the comments below. Correct me if I'm incorrect, but I believe munchkins is the correct terminology. All right, let's keep moving down the path. And the word munchkins. And the word munchkin comes from a few movies. One being The Wizard of Oz, and the other one being Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I believe that's where the term got popularized for dwarves and little people. That's the historical context of it, especially when it comes to cinema history. I believe it was the Lilliputians, the Lilliput people, which also came from another book. And that book was Gulliver's Travels, which came out, I believe, late 1800s, early 1900s. We'll find out the publishing date, and I'll put it right here. Poppies and tacos. I'm about to try their world-class, world-renowned margaritas. They say this is the best margarita in all of Greenville. Let's find out. So what makes your margaritas the best in Greenville?
Shake it.
Oh, it's because you know how to shake it. Because they know how to shake it. They know how to shake the margarita.
The love, the passion, everything.
Oh.
When you're doing everything with love, it tastes better.
See, this is why I don't like going to gringo places, because these places are so much better, and they are so much more delicious. I love it.
Look at that.
Look at this.
Wow. The best margarita in Greenville. Made it by me. Obviously.
Okay, made it with love.
Made it with love.
Made with, in Spanish, amor? No? Is it? No.
Mucho amor.
Mucho amor. It's made with mucho amor. Mucho.
So now you have to drink a little bit because the other way, look at this.
Look at that presentation. Wow, okay, wonderful. I love it.
Oh, okay. Drink a little bit because spill.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
Try it.
Okay.
If you don't like my margarita, I give you your money back for sure. It's not happened, never. In
Never
Papi's
happened.
Tacos by the river.
Oh,
See? If you happy, I'm happy. If you happy, I'm happy.
okay. Oh, this is definitely Greenville's best margaritas for sure. Don't go to any of the gringo places. They're full of white guilt. Go to the real place. Right, so here I am at Papi's Tacos. Service is absolutely fantastic. We're doing my first, I thought I was gonna do a beer tasting, but as it turns out, instead of doing a beer tasting, it's the summer, we're gonna do a margarita. And now, along this margarita, we have tahini, a little slightly salted edge with a perfectly cut lime. It's not too strong, has just enough tequila in it and lime juice, whatever else they put in margaritas. It is absolutely, thoroughly pleasing to the palate. Wow. How absolutely refreshing. The bouquet is limey, has lime flavor to it, citrus, but not too overpowering. Highly refreshing and not too much tequila, just enough. And it actually might not even be a well tequila, it might be their own tequila. Papi's and Tacos. And I bet you all these cyclists and bikers also want to come here and get a refresh themselves with a beer, a refreshing beer or a margarita. Cheers. This is to Papi's Tacos. Premier Mexican food eatery and beverage shop, beverage supplier, bar if you will, along the Reedy River. Along the Reedy River, we're having a beautiful margarita. Beautiful. I think I might have scared her by saying the word beautiful. She was like, oh, me? Me beautiful? Oh, how dare you? You're so charming and friendly. Well, that I am as well. This is a real delight. Real delicious delight. Very good. Come by and get a margarita.
And the best tacos in town.
And the lady that works here is mucho amor, has so much love.
Yes.
What a lovely, nice woman at Papi's Tacos that works there. That was a mom and pop shop there, and she was so wonderful and a bright light in this world. And her margaritas are fantastic. In fact, I can feel the margarita kicking in as we speak. So if you're ever in the Greenville area, come to Papi's Tacos, right along the Reedy River. You won't regret coming here, I promise. says, please stay on designated walkways, which we're not doing. In fact, we're going to go try to see a heron. Dinosauria, dinosaur-like birds, ancient primordial feathered beings that have been around here for millions of years. Their shape has changed. They've de-evolved. Off he goes. I think I spooked the heron, unfortunately. Oh, look, there's the heron. He thinks he's being hunted. Well, being hunted by a cameraman, by a YouTube vlog paparazzi. Let's see. I think game recognizes game here. Predators recognize other predators. How tall. Look at this goose. This goose knows I have food. Wow. Hello, Goosey. Come on. Come on. Come on. I know you want it. I don't know. Kind of made a measly attempt of eating it, and then he just kind of pecked at it a little bit, played with it with his beak, and then just kind of dropped out. Wow, here we have ivy, a gated area, and an aerial rooted tree that is so close to the edge of a cliff that it leaves all the roots exposed. It even has lots of initials etched in to the root system. People have climbed all the way up to mark their initials, prove to the universe and to the world how much they love each other. Wow. After that margarita, I'm feeling a little bit more climby, a little bit more adventurous. So we're going to climb up this tree. Oh, look. Now, if you look here, if you look carefully, you can see the contrast of the tree, the trunk, and tree root in the foreground, and the background. The green of the leaves, the topographical view of all the leaves, and the sky piercing through the leaves. That perspective is amazing. The analogy and metaphor is that in life, if we move around a little bit, or move our position slightly, our perspective changes completely. We see things from a different view. And that angle, a lot of times, can be very helpful. It can be life-saving. It can be good for innovation. It can be good for work. It can be good for your relationships. It can be good for overall everything. It's to change our POV, our point of view, just slightly. And the gates will open. doors of perception will open. All right, let's keep going. Here along the Swamp Rabbit Trail, we have a lamp that is fashioned. It's fashioned based off of the late 1800s, early 1900s. Now, this hotel across the Reedy River is one of the most well-known hotels in Greenville. I'll list the name right here. So if you have a little extra cash to spend, well, you want to treat yourself, you and your significant other, and go to pretty much the nicest hotel in this area, that's your spot. The architecture is German. Has stone underpinnings. The foundation is stone, but the top is almost a Bavarian look. Oh, there it is! There it is! Hell yeah! Marty.McFloat on Instagram. I just met an Instagram star, or an Instagram content creator, who apparently floats around these roads in one of those mono-wheel electric scooters that's just the one wheel. Kind of like Back to the Future style, Michael J. Fox before he was in a wheelchair. You can't go wrong with these old lanterns from the late 1800s yet again to the early 1900s, but these are underneath a bridge, which means they accumulate more dust, cobwebs, and insects and spiders and such. And also, they accumulate trap pollen and webs, and probably also excretions from all the bugs coming out of the bugs' sphincti and anusas. And probably the mouth of these bugs too creates all of that kind of foam that you see encrusted along the bulb of this light underneath the bridge. Now the reason why I have to say sphincti and anusa, Mr. Sphincti and Mr. Anusa, is I have to change my language a little bit for this platform. I can't blatantly just say that all these excretions are expelled right out of the bug's ass. So I gotta bleep it out. But we'll just say Mr. Sphincti and Mr. Anusa is a colloquialism for words that pack more of a punch. Words that might be a little bit considered obscene. Alright, YouTube. Let's move on down this trail. Oh look! We're back at Cancer Survivors Park, Gibbs Cancer Center entrance. Back to the old cancer game, huh? Back to the old game where we can make money off of cancer. Kira's been here. Kira's been here for a long time. Clement's Kindness Children's Garden. I don't understand. What are all these prefaces before the garden? Why do we have to call it a kindness garden? I mean, shouldn't we all naturally just know to be kind? We have to be told to be kind? No. It's kind of like all those stickers that you have on cars. People always virtue signaling. I'm so glad that this era well, you still see it depending on what state you're in, but you don't see it as much anymore because it's absolutely cringe. People are putting stickers, virtue signaling stickers saying how good they are, when actually they're probably the worst people in traffic. And they say and do and act in the most unkind way possible. Here's an extremely unrealistic depiction of a lion and a child. Now in nature, if you watch the channel Nature is Metal, what would happen in reality is this lion would be using this child as protein, be eating the child in a very, maybe even a very Jeffrey Epsteinian fashion. But this is an idealistic depiction of a lion, such as Aslan the lion in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. Great author, by the way. But when you think about it, this is fantasy. In reality, this lion will kill this child. Not only will it kill a human child, it will kill its own children in order to get the female back into estrus. That's nature. Silly, silly Hollywood depictions and romanticizations that we have of lions and the animals and the wild nature. In reality, if you look at what a bear does in order to get the female back into heat, it shreds the children in order to gratify its desire for sexual gratification. Nature is metal. Slow moving tortoise wins the race. What a great metaphor and analogy for life. Go slow, take it easy, and you'll get there. I keep reminding myself. Check it out. Moving towards the fast approaching rapids. Getting exactly where the turtle needs to go. The turtle ends up just fine. And it moves very slow. And that's okay. Wow, look at that turtle go in the rapids. That turtle just got pushed all the way down the rapids. And there he goes. That's amazing. Very cool. Oh my God. So listen guys, when you see construction workers or people doing manual labor and blue collar work in this country, you give them some love. Don't do what these upper middle class blue haired white Karens do and cuss them out the whole time. I gotta bleep that out on YouTube, but you guys get the point.
There you go.
All right guys, take care, see ya. I hope you all heard that. People who are working on the side of the street, doing construction, any type of labor in general, you give them a lot of room. And be kind, because they're doing jobs that you could never do. Or would never have the ability to do. Or the competency to do. I know I couldn't. That's why I'm here talking to you. So keep that in mind. Those guys work really, really hard. And people just kind of hopefully they're getting paid a lot. Cool thing about the US is they get paid very well. Floating, suspended in midair, we have pollen. Pollen molecule. Some type of plant matter. Pollen from a branch, dancing for us in the wind, suspended, floating in midair. We have air coming up from the bottom of it and from the top of it, allowing it to just float there for us. Just kidding, that's a spider web it's hanging on. But it looks pretty cool. It's an illusion. Great game for Super Nintendo, by the way. Illusion of Gaia. Always remember to make a wish when you blow out a dandelion. Just make a wish. Because I just forgot to, so make a wish for me. Poppies and tacos? Poppies and tacos. I don't think they're poppies, but man, that orange. Now, as you all know by now, I grew up in Austria as an expat, as a U.S. citizen. After the U.S. De-weaponized and defeated the Germans in World War II, many rules were put in place. And the reason why these rules were put in place was in order for the U.S. to have, well, domination and total control. And in Austria, the idea of nationalism or patriotism, well, it's frowned upon because of what happened during World War II. So the only time you can really fly a flag is, I believe it's Labor Day or May Day, May 1st, which is maybe also considered Austria's Labor Day. Otherwise, if you fly a flag, like we're doing here, you're considered a nationalist, a white supremacist, or a racist. And that's Central Europe, that's Central Western Europe. But here in the US, we fly the flag all over, all the time. And we have a healthy consideration, healthy ideas that revolve around nationalism and patriotism, instead of it being seen as something as it does in Western Europe. And that's because those people lost the war. And Americans, we can still fly the flag. Austrians and Germans can't do that. So there's this brutal sense of shame when you talk to a German or an Austrian about their sense of national identity and sense of patriotism. So it was a shock for me. When I was 18, I came over to the US. I couldn't believe it. I was like, why is the flag being flown all over the place? And I associated it with a negative connotation. And it took me years to get over it, because I was like, this isn't good. This isn't good. But now I realize when you meet the majority of Americans, I'm not talking about the government, I'm talking about American citizens, they have a healthy sense of nationalism and a healthy sense of patriotism. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, for all other countries, have it, own it. It's a good thing. And what I've heard from other travel vloggers is that when they travel to countries like Pakistan or India or Bangladesh or wherever around the world, that when they meet those people and those locals, they all have a strong sense of national identity. They have a strong sense of national identity. And it's a good thing. It's something we shouldn't shy away and be afraid of and label it toxic. It's important to take pride in your country and to actually love the earth that you're standing on, instead of rejecting it and being nihilistic. So these are the kudzu vines. As you can see, it is early spring, so they haven't gotten green yet. But they will eventually sprout and crawl all the way up this dead tree, covering the tree in its entirety with kudzu. Oh, look at this. Public restrooms. I definitely need to drain the salamander. As the great, progressive, blue-haired, actually probably one of the all-time greatest travel vloggers, international superstar, raw and niche travel vlogger, goes by the name of Geraldo Baldieri. When he needs to use the restroom, he says, I'm dealing with heavy machinery here, so just give me a second. I'd like to think that applies to me as well. Oh, wow. That's really nice. They really take good care of their parks here in Greenville. I like it. Look at this. Look how clean. We got koala care from Australia. Actually, I don't know. It's actually from Centennial, Colorado. But every time I see koala care for the young bambinos to change their diapers, I always think of Australia. And I think of in 2020 when a lot of Australia burnt down, specifically the central bush area, a lot of the middle area, the outback. A lot of koalas like this didn't make it. But in case you're wondering about Koala Care brand, it's actually made in America and it's from Colorado, Centennial, Colorado. Octave jumping. I love the acoustics in a bathroom.
DJ, we got the bathroom DJ.
Bathroom DJ, bathroom DJ. Bathroom DJ. Bathroom DJ, bathroom DJ, bathroom DJ, bathroom DJ. I feel so refreshed. I'm gonna go down the ramp for I am so refreshed. I'm gonna go down the ramp for the wheelchair just to celebrate my bathroom success. My refreshed spirit and soul and happy being celebrates by going down the wheelchair ramp. ADA approved. This is an American with Disabilities Act approved wheelchair ramp. And I'm walking down it right now. Why? I ask you, and you might ask me. It's because I feel extremely refreshed. After working with heavy machinery, as the great Geraldo Baldieri would say, there's no original material here. I completely took that from him. All in love, though. All because I'm a fan. But I bet you never called it a salamander. I bet you never thought of that, did you? But I like the heavy machinery analogy a lot better. All right, bathroom. See you later. Thank you so much for joining me today on this journey. I hope you found something interesting and unique on this adventure down America's greenest path, here in Greenville, South Carolina. This place is truly enchanting. It has history, nature, and is the perfect escape for city dwellers to come and catch nature at its finest. I'll see you next time. Peace in the Middle East.